You think it's
Let's go
back?
for it.
Let's go. Yep. If we will rise, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I currently serve as the chair of the Shawnee County Commission. Also represent District 2. Joining me today is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3. Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
There are 4 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions or is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, do business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, today we have vouchers totaling $807,232.70. One highlight under that would be under Special Public Works for Can Equip. It's for $19,305.68. That is to purchase the heavy-duty flex-wing motor that we recently approved. I don't have any questions, and I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, solid waste number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to Elliott Equipment for the purchase of an automated side-load trash truck in the amount of $211,589, including trade-in allowance, utilizing the solid waste fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. These next 2 items will wrap up our vehicle purchases for this year. This particular item here, I would like to make a correction on the memo. It's not Elliott Equipment, it's Truck Component Services, so TSC. So I'd like to amend that with your permission. For our automated side loader, we're asking to purchase 1 vehicle. 2 vendors submitted 4 bids. This bid that we're requesting is not low bid. There's a difference of approximately $3,619. We're asking to go with TSC because it is comparable to the vehicles that we already have in our fleet, and we'd just like to keep that common body style for our side load equipment. So the total purchase price is, with trade-in, is $211,589. This will come out of our operational budget, which is 100% user fee funded with no tax dollars used. So, good question, gentlemen.
So, Bill, just to make sure that we're clear, the award is to the truck component services, but the amount was correct on the memorandum.
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Are there any questions for Bill?
No questions, but Bill, I'm just looking at this. It looks like the trade-in was really the difference because the price of the vehicle was actually cheaper. They just didn't give us quite as much on
That is
trade.
correct, sir. Yes.
Any other questions? Motion?
I'll move to approve, noting that we're changing this to the truck component services.
Motion made by Commissioner Mays, noting the change. Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B2, consider approval of request to award bid to Elliott Equipment for the purchase of 3 front-load trash trucks for a total cost of $558,848, including trade-in allowance utilizing the solid waste fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. This is for the purchase of 3 front-load trash trucks with trade-ins. This, again, is not low bid. 2 vendors submitted a total of 4 bids, as you can tell on the memo. The price difference each is $19,962 with a total price difference of $59,886. If you look at the body styles, there's 2 body styles that are noted in the memo or on the tabulation sheet. all of our front loads are that new way body style, and we do not want to introduce an unknown body style into our fleet at this time. We do not have any experience with that other body style, nor does any of our competitors run that body style. So they're an unknown, and we do not, at this time, want to go with that.
Bill, it is your request that this award be given to Elliott, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So again, the total purchase price will be $558,848. This comes out of our operational budget, which is 100% user fee funded, no taxpayer dollars, subject to your questions, gentlemen.
Any questions for Bill regarding this item?
No, but I would say though, it might be good to figure out, if this curb tender Titan is a decent product or not, because it was substantially less. Although it does appear again that the trade-in values were quite a bit higher, I think, this time, so. I'll move to approve though.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen, and I just will add that all of our truck purchases came in at $64,000 under budget, so we did a pretty good job.
Very good.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item C, Public Works number 1, consider approval of request for a project budget of $248,820 for the concrete pavement joint repair along East 6th Street between Southeast Clerical Road to Highway K4, southbound off-ramp with funding from the Special Highway Improvements account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. All of our projects can't be glorious new construction like Southeast 45th and Southeast 29th. There are times we have to maintain what we have. This is an example. We have East 6th Street from Croco to the K4 ramps that was formerly constructed by KDOT. And at some point around 2003, it was turned over to the county. It's all concrete pavement. We're pretty good at maintaining asphalt pavement, but it takes special equipment to maintain concrete pavement. We don't have enough concrete pavement to buy a bunch of equipment to maintain that type of pavement. So what we'd like to do this year is work on the westbound lanes. We would like to, the red lines there are the longitudinal joints. We would like to repair 100% of the longitudinal joints and 25% of the transverse joints. We've done this work before on that stretch of East 6, but it was a very small quantity. Here we're doing a much more substantial quantity. The pavement dates from, I think, 1997, so it's more than 20 years old. So I'm not complaining really about the performance of the pavement, but it's an important asset. If you wait too long, you can't perform this kind of repair, so I think it's time to spend approximately $250,000 to do this work. Again, westbound lanes only. We'll come back, we hope to come back next year and do the eastbound lanes. And so the project budget for $250,000 covers the construction, a very small design fee, construction engineering, which will be the next item I talk about, and of course the usual contingencies. So with that, I look forward to your questions.
Bill, kind of walk us through, are you going, and what I understand is that we're going to be replacing the joints or the seams between the stretches of concrete.
That is correct, sir.
So we're not ripping out all of the concrete.
Nope, not at this time.
So as we're driving down the road, the parts that we hear thump, 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 thump as our tires go across the seams, that's the part we would be addressing.
That's correct.
Now, what is the condition of the concrete stretches in between? I mean, even though it was constructed in 1997, does it still have good quality? Are there heavy pittings?
Except for the joints, the panels are in relatively good shape. Again, we're just going to address the joints. It's more of a shallow surface action as opposed to a deep action. And again, we're doing it now because we want to protect our asset. On this type of repair, if you wait too long, you're wasting your money.
When you do joint repair, are you coming in and channeling out the joints? And then, if by doing so, are you affecting the structural integrity of the panels?
What you're doing is you're milling out maybe approximately 2 inches of that joint, maybe 1 foot on either side of the joint, because it's not just the joint that's bad. The concrete on the immediately adjacent to that joint is also bad. So we're going to mill out a 2-foot strip, shallow. It'll remove all the bad material, and then we'll put new material back. So we restore the structural capacity of that pavement.
Okay. Other questions for Kurt?
Yeah, Kurt, the new material that you put in there, are we putting asphalt or
Concrete.
concrete? Okay.
Commissioner Rippon?
We're not using any of that backer rod or anything like that in there.
No, that's a good point. I think we're just going to fill it up with asphalt, hot joint
Good.
asphalt material. I don't think, I looked at the detail and I don't remember seeing a backer rod,
Good.
so.
Are you a big fan of longitudinal joints, or do you like the other joints that go the other direction?
Well, they serve different purposes. One is more of, it keeps the panels together. The longitudinal joints are less critical because you're talking about a relatively narrow strip of concrete. So all they really do is tie the panels together. The longitudinal joints, they are much more critical because they have to handle the expansion and contraction of the pavement. So those transverse joints are much more critical from a performance standpoint. And it appears, based on my experiences, if you have pavement degradation, it's usually going to be with your transverse joints.
Okay.
Bill, as you get ready to do the work, will there be notice given to the homeowners in the area as also researchers in the area?
Yeah, we'll keep the public notified. It's really going to be very little impact because the road's going to remain open. We'll have traffic control in place that will push the westbound traffic into one of the eastbound lanes. That portion of E6 doesn't carry a tremendous amount of traffic. So one lane in each direction will be just fine for accommodating traffic. So it'll still be open. It'll be available. The local residences that have driveways off of that road, we'll keep in touch with them. The contractor will work with them. So I don't foresee any large problems.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, how many years do you think this buys us before we're at some point gonna have to rip this out and replace it?
Well, I would guess maybe, I'm hoping that this work will last 10 years.
Okay, great.
At some point then, we might have to do something a little more substantial. I think it will be quite some time yet. What happens here is the same thing that's happened on Clerical Road in the vicinity of the bridges over I-70 in the Turnpike. What we don't want to happen is we don't want this road to get into that condition. That's what we're trying to avoid. And if we keep maintaining these joints, I think we'll have pavement that'll last quite a while. So I don't think we're anywhere near as close to ripping the concrete out and having to replace it.
Great. And the traffic's quite a bit less on this.
Oh,
than-
gosh,
yeah,
yes,
so.
yeah, way less.
Commissioner Rippon?
You said this road was originally the state's?
Yeah, I think it was built as part of all that work on the east side of town, as part of that Northeast Expressway, K4,
Oakland Expressway.
I'm sorry, what did I say? Northeast Express, yeah, Oakland Expressway, yeah.
And how did we end up with it? Is it? Was it-
I don't remember the details of this, East 6th Street, this used to be part of US 40, this segment here.
Right.
It's no longer part of US 40 because US 40 starts at the interchange.
That would be why, probably.
Yeah, but I can't remember the details of why this segment was removed. I mean, I can research it if it's
No,
important to you.
That's not important.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays,
Second?
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item C2, consider approval of request to issue a request for proposals from engineering firms to provide construction inspection services for the East 6th Street concrete pavement joint repair project with funding from the Department Special Highway account.
Again, Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. This item is really tandem to the previous item. The project we anticipate to do this work will be 45 days. And the work is critical. It's not like putting a mat of asphalt down and making sure we're getting the proper depth of asphalt. You have to do a number of things right on these repairs in order for them to last. So we want someone out there that can spend 100% of their time on this project, again, for approximately 45 days. So with your blessing, we would like to solicit proposals for inspection services on this project. Questions?
Any questions?
None.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you,
sir.
Commissioners.
Our next item.
Item D, Department of Corrections, number 1, consider approval of request to utilize $16,000 from the contingency fund for the emergency purchase repair of a fire main supply line for the Juvenile Detention Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eve Kendall, Department of Corrections. I'm here to request funding source contingency funds for the emergency repair of a fire main line that we had break back end of March 30th. Due to the life safety issues, we thought it was an emergency repair procedure. We talked to Betty Griner and she agreed. So we had it repaired, so now we're just looking for your approval to use contingency funds. She did say that it was something that could be used as long as you approved it. It's not anything that we expected to do. So with your approval, we'd like to use contingency funds.
Any questions regarding this item? Commissioner Mays?
Couple things. It mentions in here that the Topeka Fire has us on fire watch right now.
Whenever we have a break in service to where we don't have fire suppression availability, we do go to a fire watch, which means that we are checking every area of the facility that it affects every 30 minutes. Once we do have the repair, then we are able to discontinue that watch, and then we notify everyone, dispatch, fire, everybody. We do have it repaired already, so we are not in fire watch anymore. But during that time, just to make sure we maintain life safety issues, we do go into an extended, more lengthy process.
Okay, and then the other question, and I know that you're not a plumbing engineer or anything, so I'll try and keep it relatively simple, but it says that they were taking out the ductile iron pipe. Did they replace that with PVC or
No,
another
sir.
ductile iron?
More ductile iron.
Okay.
When they exposed the break, they exposed enough on each side that they recommended that we really consider the possibility of replacing that line because it was in kind of a bad shape. It was put in like 25 years ago, so it had some wear to it due to, I guess, the composure of the soil and whatnot. So they recommended that we replace that line, which we talked to a couple other sources, and they said, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Otherwise, we could go 6 months down the line and have another break. So they replaced it with the ductile line again, which was the recommendation.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Motion?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to
Second.
approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item D2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-135-2021, a 6-month recruitment plan with KSNT to include television, social media, and geofencing to expand the pool of applicants needed to fill vacancies at the adult and juvenile detention centers, and a monthly cost of $3,900 with funding from the detention budget.
Deputy Director Eve Kendall again. This is a renewal of the contract that we have had with KSNT. It's to help augment our current recruiting plan. I don't think it's any secret that we've had some issues the last couple years with filling all of our vacancies. We've seen some good progress with this program that we have with KSNT. For instance, last week we were able to start 8 new officers, which is something that we haven't done in I don't know how long, at one time. Usually it's 1 or 2. So We believe that with this contract that we are reaching out to a diverse group of people that might not think that corrections is a career for them. We know that we have increased our salaries, but unless people know that we've increased our salaries, we're not really getting very far. With this, we are able to do that. We have TV commercials, or whatever you call them nowadays. We have geofencing, which means whenever they get in certain areas, they get maybe a little pop-up on their social media. So we're really seeing some good results, and we'd like to continue that for the next 6 months in order to hopefully really make a dent in our recruiting needs.
So with the Department of Corrections, our staffing really peaked out at a very low critical spot. We increased the salary component. We've addressed the advertising and trying to draw these employees. Where do we stand today? Are we still at that critical level, or are we starting to come up a little bit?
I do have the Human Resources captain here in case I foul up, but I'm going to try and do my best here, and then I'll look to her. We are starting to really see some progress. We were at a critical need. We've probably hired 20 since the beginning of the year, which is a good dent. We still have several, 40 vacancies that we are trying to fill. So although we are feeling good about what's going on, we do still have a need. But we do see some good progress with what we're currently doing with KSNT.
So some of the challenges that we have the Topeka Correctional Facility or Youth Facility. We have the Women's Correctional Facility in Topeka. We have our statewide facilities in Lansing and then Leavenworth. Other correctional facilities, I mean, is it just, have we tapped out our local application pool? Do we need to look at a further application pool, reaching out to Hayes or Dodge City or Salina or even into Kansas City, Missouri to get the applicants we need?
We have been doing that. We've seen some good results from like tapping into Fort Riley, people that are getting out of the military. We've had people that have been moving from other states to work with us. That we're waiting for them to come into town to move. So we are reaching out farther with some good results. I think because of the salary increase, people are starting to see that that it would be worth to move from another state into here. But the other thing though is that the pool of applicants is changing as the millennials and whatnot are changing. And I think that being able to go out and do the media things that we are doing with KSNT and others, I think that people are seeing us maybe in a different light because of the different commercials and things that we're putting out, to where somebody that that was doing something else at Hills or Goodyear or whatever, they're like, well, maybe that wouldn't be too bad. And they're giving us a try. And that's what we need, because we think that if we can get them in the door and we can show them the good things that can happen if they, if they're committed to it, that they'll stay. And we're starting to see some of that, but it takes a little bit of time because, you just don't change a ship right away. It takes a little bit of, to maneuver. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And we see some momentum with everything that's going on with the salary increases and the different things that we're trying with recruiting. And we're hoping that with this contract renewal, if you approve it, that we will continue to see success and we will be able to dig out of that hole that we're in.
One of the concerns that we have oftentimes is we have a number of employees who have been with the department for more than 10 years. And then we have very few people that have been with the department between the 10 to 5 mark.
Yes, sir.
And then we have a lot of employees who are at 5 years and below. And one of the concerns has been that a person will look at the Department of Corrections as a place to start their career if they want to go into law enforcement or get the training that we provide to go on to a different agency. Is that still a concern that we would have, is trying to keep those people after that 5-year mark so that they become a long-term employee?
Well, this is me speaking. I don't, have all the research behind me. But I've been here over 30 years. I started as an officer and I've moved my way up. I think that some of the people that left in the middle range, is that what you're talking about? They were a little frustrated because they didn't see the movement with the salaries and everything, and they saw that they could go somewhere else and make as much money or more money. I think that since we've raised the salaries, I think that some people are seeing it as a more of a long term. We do have a lot of people that are within that, say, 10, 15 forward, to where now we're starting to wonder about the retirements. But at the same time, we are getting a lot of new people, and they're fresh and they're eager and they want to do, the good things. We recognize, and I think all corrections recognizes that we can be a stepping stone. But at the same time, we take pride in giving people the leadership aspects and the things that they need to be able to communicate well with everyone in the community, so that they do move on. They have a good structure, and a lot of our other agencies in the community, law enforcement, they will come and they will, kind of poach our officers because they see the quality of officers that we keep. So, we like that. We don't like that. It's kind of a double-edged sword. We feel we're helping the community no matter what. We just like for more of them to stay, and we're thinking that with everything that we're doing with your help as far as the salaries and the benefit packages that we continue to provide, that we're going to keep more people.
And having these people, that's really kind of the key, so that we don't have the staffing crises with the overtime. We saw that in the communications department, where we had a lot of overtime. It led to the burnout, and then employees just leaving because they wanted to spend time with their families, and the money just wasn't enough.
Yes.
So.
Yes, we still have overtime needs. And we know that if we can, continue to plug away at reducing our vacancies, that we won't have as much overtime. Because no matter what, it's not like, we can just not fill posts, because we have life safety measures that we have to maintain. Safety and security for our community is our #1 goal. So no matter what, we will have to force people into overtime if needed. But at the same time, we think that, we're trying to do our best that we don't have the total burnout. The COVID stuff is another issue that is causing more overtime due to leave because they've either had a household contact or in the beginning we had, officers that were COVID positive. We're not seeing the COVID positive as much, but we're having still the household contact that is still an issue. We've had pretty good success with the vaccines, that we've offered to our employees, and we're happy with that, and we're seeing good results from that. So as we continue to, fill our vacancies, and we continue to work hard on, maintaining a safe and secure facility for, as far as COVID and anything else that's going on, I think we're going to continue to see success. It's just us staying, maintaining our focus and keeping it moving forward that we're going to continue.
Okay. Other questions? Okay. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Our next item.
Item E, Human Resources, #1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-136-2021, Teamsters Union Local Number 696 Master Agreement, and the corresponding addendum agreements C-137-2021 through C-141-2021 with Clerical, Corrections, Health, Parks, and Public Works bargaining units for a 1-year term.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. I have Mike Scrivener with me today from Teamsters, and we'd like to present this contract together. Teamsters is our largest bargaining unit. We have 355 employees at Shawnee County who are covered by this bargaining unit. 88 of them are employees in the Clerical bargaining unit, 175 are with Corrections, 29 are in the Health Department, 27 in Parks, and 36 in Public Works. So again, they are our largest, and we are happy to have them. I have to say that Eve did a wonderful job, and some of the things you're here today are a direct reflection of why we're able to do that. Mike, come on up. Just want to go over a few of the high points of the contract with you. The master didn't have very many changes. The clerical addendum contained a change to the wages. It is a 1-year contract, but it's one 1% scale change increase in the applicable step for 2021. The corrections addendum did contain a letter of agreement with wages. We raised the starting wage for corrections officers to $19.28, and that is now becoming a part of the contract. That happened back in January. The health department addendum again contained wage changes for 2021, the 1% scale change in the applicable step, as did the parks addendum and the public works addendum. With Public Works, we did create a stepped program for bridge and road maintenance employees. There will now be a bridge maintenance 1 and a bridge and a road maintenance 1 and 2, actually, for both of those. There were changes. It was interesting to negotiate through COVID. We were used to face-to-face, getting in the room and hashing it out, but I'd like to thank everyone who participated. Mike and Bridget did an excellent job, and all the stewards who came to the table ready to work every time, as well as the elected officials and department heads, and especially Mike Augustine from HR. We'd ask that you accept this contract with Teamsters.
Mike, do you want to offer comments? Or?
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Scribner, President of Teamsters Local 696. I concur with Angela, and I had a big speech prepared, but I didn't put much change in the meter, so I'll be brief. The challenges, everybody in this room, we don't have to explain last year's challenges and what delayed negotiations and how we got to this point. But I think we set a speed record for master negotiations. Both sides came to the table, and we both had reasonable proposals, and I think it was less than 2 hours we finished the master agreement. The addendums took longer, as they always do. But I'd ask, our entire membership has ratified these agreements. We would ask that you approve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? I'll move for approval of the contract.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you very much for everybody, all your hard work on this. Thank you. Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or member of the public to address the commission on any item. See the treasurer coming up. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. Just a reminder, taxes for the second half are going to come due on May the 10th. We started mailing the statements this last Monday, so some folks may already have those in the mail. Need to be watching for that, and remember the taxes are due on May the 10th. And as usual, you can pay in person, though we do encourage that you use the mail, online, or drop-off, and we do have a drop-off box that you can just do it from your car on the west exit of the courthouse parking lot. Be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions about being able to pay your taxes? No? Okay, thank you, Larry.
Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Kuhlman, Shawnee County Commission Office. The April 2021 county newsletter called The County Connection has been published, and I would like to take a few minutes just to highlight a few of the articles. If you'll go to the Shawnee County website located at www.snco.us, up at the top you'll find our department's drop-down menu. Scroll down to the Commission. Here you land on the Commission homepage, and on the left side of the screen you'll see a link called Newsletter. This gets you to our new County Connection newsletter. We always start off with an article from one of our commissioners called the Commissioner's Corner. This month was from Commissioner Cook, titled, "What is the Strength of Your Organization?" And this was a question that was asked to him during an interview for our current wage study with Evergreen Solutions. They also asked him, what is the reason people work for Shawnee County? Healthcare for employees and their families, tuition reimbursement, and retirement plans are very important. But Shawnee County is taking the steps to reevaluate salaries for almost all positions, just like we did in 2015. Cook said, the strength of Shawnee County is shown in our continuing efforts to respect our employees and the service that they provide to Shawnee County citizens through not just the benefits offered, but the compensation paid to our employees. I personally feel that is very important, that our commissioners value all of our Shawnee County employees. So, this month's featured department is the Shawnee County Health Department. Over the last year, the Health Department has looked quite different in the way they typically deliver their services due to the pandemic. A majority of Health Department employees had new job duties added in addition to their current roles. They worked countless hours and even weekends to serve the needs of Shawnee County. Monday, April 5th through April 11th started National Public Health Week, which is a great time to thank all of our public health employees at the Shawnee County Health Department for making our community healthier and safer during this past year. Our Solid Waste Department's recycle tip of the month is asking that we do not include the plastic grocery bags in the recycle carts. If you collect your recyclables in one of those plastic grocery bags, just remember to empty the contents into the cart because those bags get caught up in the recycling equipment. So the only exception is shredded paper can go in clear plastic bags, which can be easily identified. Some of our April upcoming events. Today, we have a blood drive from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., which is in the blood bus located outside the courthouse if you go out the public or the employee entrance from 9 to 3. April 9th starts tomorrow. That starts tulip time and tulips at twilight. Also, tomorrow's the last day to register for Walk Kansas. We have commission meetings Mondays and Thursdays throughout the month at 9 a.m. April 17th, Tulip Festival at the lake. And April 25th will be the last day for tulip time and tulips at twilight. And you will hear more about the details on our tulip events in just a minute. If you ever have any ideas for a county newsletter article, just send them our way to Amanda or myself. And that is all I have.
Thank you,
Do you have
Stephanie.
any questions?
Any questions?
None.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
super.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kimberly Wolf, Shawnee County Parks and Rec and the Parks for All Foundation. I'm going to just give you a little bit of information. Stephanie gave you kind of the timeline of tulip events. It starts tomorrow and will run through April 25th. Every night through that time, you can go to visit Tulips at Twilight out at Ward Mead Botanical Gardens from 7 to 10 each night. During that time, there are over 50 large displays, lit displays, and a handful of smaller displays that you'll see throughout the gardens, as well as each of the walkways are illuminated with luminaries. I was curious to know how many twinkle lights and lights you would actually be able to see during Tulips at Twilight, and I was fascinated to find out it's over 500,000. So I wouldn't suggest going out and counting them yourself. It'd probably take more than the 3 hours that you have from 7 to 10. But anyway, excuse me. Also on April 17th, she mentioned that we will have the festival out at the lake. Several different activities will be going on that day. It might be a little hard to see, but They start at 8 o'clock with the pancake feed, and you will have a celebrity chef that day will be Eric Ives. He will be flipping those hot cakes for you, so I'd suggest come out and seeing Eric that day. Also, we have a fishing clinic, a car show with vendors and kids' activities. We also will have a different tulip talk by Ken Carlett. He's the president of the Friends of Ted Inslee Garden. We'd have 3 different drawings for flowers. The Topeka Drumline will be available, or will be there at 11:45. We will have several different events throughout the rest of the day as well, different entertainers. One very important item or event that will happen on the 17th at 2 different locations, one at the lake and one at Ward Mead, will be the Binkley Memorial Dedication. One will be at noon at the lake, and the other will be at, I'm being told to do something. Ha, sorry. Wasn't well trained before, Stephanie. So anyway, if you're not familiar with who Gerald Binkley was, he has been given the title of Father of Tulip Time. For 22 years, he allowed visitors and guests of Topeka to come out to his own personal gardens and view the beauty that he had planted and spent so much time with. And now those are, you can see those both at Ward Mead, as well out at the lake and at Gage Park. So we're excited to be able to do these 2 dedications. We will also have the crowning of the Tulip Time Queen, which I believe Commissioner Mays will be there on hand to help with that. So we appreciate that. We also will have, I already mentioned this, but we will have different entertainers throughout the day as well. So one of the new things we did this year was we are hoping to gather more information on those people who do visit our gardens, and we created a virtual guest book. You'll see these laminated flyers throughout all 3 of the different parks there, or the gardens, hoping that our visitors will take the time to take a photo of the QR code. Excuse me. We'll gather a little bit of information about each of them as they come through. We know in the past that we've had people from 86 different cities, 5 to 6 different states, and even other foreign countries have come through just to see our tulips. So that's quite encouraging. But not only that, but with this same QR code, those who visit are also have 3 different links that they can choose to go and give a donation to the garden of their choice. So I think we'll see I'm hoping we'll see a better trend each year with being able to keep track of those people. So without, if you have no questions, I hope to see everybody out there.
Any questions for Kim?
No.
Thank you very
Looking
much for
forward
being
to it,
here.
though.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the department heads or members of the public? Commissioner Rippon?
I'm planning on helping out with Tulip Time. I think I'm working Saturday nights.
Very good.
That's my weekend.
All right. Commissioner Mays?
Nothing from me.
I don't have anything else new today. Our next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There is no need for an executive session today, so we are adjourned.